please, Ms. Herzog.
Linda Herzog from Quilcene. I would like to give you first copies of this map. Which I did myself on your map tool. The point of this part of my comments is that those red circled areas are county-owned properties. John, there's one right here. County-owned properties along the north side of the Big Quill River. And as you know, the Quilcene Conversations kind of community boosters have talked a lot about attracting people into the Quilcene community by way of telling them that there's water there. You go all the way through Quilcene, you cannot see the water. So one of the things that we started working on is signage to point people towards the marina and towards activities that could eventually happen at the in the bay, in the head of the bay. And in addition to things like kayak and canoe rentals, which someday we'd like to be able to accomplish, it'll take a little bit of time, but we're thinking that's a good idea for the summer months. We'd also like to do something a little more passive, like trails that bring you from 101 down to the head of the bay. And as we started to do our early talking, we looked up the ownership of those properties, and of course they are in our hands as citizens and in your stewardship as commissioners. So we are thinking that it would be a wonderful asset if we could turn that area into what you read in the paper was not a very pleasant experience last September with the fisher persons and the pretty big mess that they made while the salmon were coming in, but to turn that into a really appealing family passive recreation area just to get people down to the water from 101. And as it happens, we have a neighbor of those properties who's very much interested in being a steward of that property, both for protection of his own property and for making it a more enjoyable place for Quilcene families as well as for visitors. So and we're thinking about pretty low-cost things that probably the community can handle itself without a county investment. But of course, we'd have to have access to these properties. So a simple path, a couple picnic tables, a couple porta potties would be very, very good, as you recognized from the newspaper articles last year. So I'd love to have your initial reaction. We don't want to spring any surprises on anybody. We don't want to waste any time doing any planning. So if I can get kind of an initial reaction to that sort of activity, we'll head into it if you think it might be possible for us to start planning. Of course, we wouldn't do anything with the property without checking it out with the commissioners and the administration.
Thank you, Ms. Herzog. Who would like to be next this morning? Please, Steve.